Hi YouTube, this is a quick tutorial on how to set up a quarry with BuildCraft. I'm also running GalactiCraft, so you might see some things in here that isn't in BuildCraft. So first you want to set some landmarks of how big you want your quarry. I'm only going to make this small for an example, and then I'll show you my full-size one. A little trick you can do if you're setting up a very large quarry to line these up is put a redstone torch next to the landmarks, and they set markers. That way you can see where these intersect. Now, I don't know if it's a bug or whatnot, but I found that I have to actually build this up about 5 blocks and set another one of the landmarks up top here. And the reason is it'll give you a 3D box of the setup for your quarry. I've tried not doing this, and when I've scaled it up to, well, you'll see later, my big quarry that I have, it didn't recognize it. So I suggest just adding this extra one. It only takes a minute. Alright, so you get your quarry table and put it next to it. Everything should drop. Get rid of these redstone torches. And that extra block. Alright, so now we're going to power this with combustion engines. Typically, I use 3. Seems to be plenty of power. You can use less, your quarry just will go a little slower. Now, the deal with using combustion engines is they need fuel, and they do overheat if they're not filled with water. So I'll show you how to take care of that. So let's see, first we're going to set up all our pipes before we power any of this. So we use gold pipe because they're the fastest. Just going to make a quick example of how I'm going to do this. Now you'll see, I'll show you in more detail when we go over to my other one that's already set up of how this is going to work. I have much more sorting going on over on the other side. This is just for an example. Okay, these are void pipes. Whatever gets sucked into these pipes get destroyed. The reason why I have so many of them is because this machine runs so fast that the tubes get clogged up sometimes, so it needs somewhere to go. So setting up multiple ones of these is actually a good idea. You won't have things popping out of the pipes. Next you're going to need, I don't have it in my inventory here. Next you are going to look for the diamond pipe. What the diamond pipe does is lets you put filters on what goes through what pipe. Now see, every time you add a connection it adds a color. If you right click on this without holding a pipe, it'll show you the colors. So we want all of our ore and stuff to go to the green side. So when it hits this intersection, if you have, let's say, diamond, and by the way, don't put diamond block in here, because when the mining breaks the diamond block, it produces these, and that's what gets picked up. So you need this in the filter, not the diamond equivalent of this. Same with coal. The copper needs to be smelted so it comes out like that. Same with all these other ones. These are from GalactiCraft. Iron. Silica comes out like this. That's from GalactiCraft. And gold. You can add redstone to this too, but make sure you actually put the redstone dust in here, not the redstone block. Alright, so now as everything gets mined up, it'll suck up through this tube, and it'll come this way. Now we'll put a chest down here. For it to empty into. Okay, see how it connects. So everything will filter into there. Now I have all those different things coming into this one chest. You'll see on my bigger example later that I have it more separated, and you'll see why, because I also have an automatic smelting system. But first we're gonna have to set up the cooling on these engines. So take your yellow pipes. Oops, sorry. You need the liquid yellow pipes. Fluid pipes, I should say, sorry. Alright, we're gonna set these up. Run them out so they connect. Now, preferably to make it easier on yourself, I recommend building quarries near water sources. Mine's pretty close to a water source, something with a lot of water. So we're going to funnel this. Sorry, it's lagging a little bit. Make sure you get, you know, out into the deeper part of the lake or your water source, whatever you're using. Oop, a little too far. Well, right there should be good. Alright. Let's replace this quarry. We don't need that anymore. Just use blocks for now. Alright. We also need a pump. Don't need those anymore. Alright, so set up your pump. Now when the pump knows it's above water block sources, it'll start to go down automatically. It doesn't need to be powered. What does need to be powered is the suction part of the pump. So originally I used to use Stirling engines because they're a little faster. I found that the three redstone engines, which are the slower engines, keep right up with cooling these machines off, so there's no point of using the Stirling engines, which use coal as power source, as of these just need a switch or a redstone torch. What these do is they kind of warm up and they get faster. Oops. So let's just put some blocks underneath here. And you're going to want to put a lever here just to turn this off when you need to. Make that straight. Alright, so if you turn these on, these redstone engines will start pumping water. It's going to go slow at first, but these will speed up. Oop, I think I made a mistake here. I believe this pipe needs to be coming out of the top. Yep, it does. Alright, so the output's on the top. Power sources go on the sides here. Okay, so what this will do is it'll start filling up these engines with water once it gets down here. It's going to go slow at first, let these warm up, see how they're changing colors. They were blue when I placed them, now they're green. They'll turn in red after a little while and they'll speed up. But it does keep these cool enough. Now they're starting to fill up with water. Okay. Let's grab our fuel bucket. Now you can do the same thing with fuel. If you have a fuel source that you're pumping, you put your fuel source in reservoir tanks, and I'll show you that. I did it on my big one. I'm not going to do it here, but all you do is dig 2 blocks down and do the same setup and run a separate pipe to the bottom of the engines, and it'll fill the fuel for you too. Alright, put some switches here. Start turning this thing on. It just needs the fuel. Put some fuel in each engine. Now the fuel lasts quite a while. Like this will last a couple hours, I'm assuming. I've had it run for a while and it's fine. Alright, so once that engine starts going, it's going to start constructing your little quarry track for your robot to start digging up the material, and it'll dig straight down until it hits lava. Just waiting for this to go. By the way, so anything that's not on the green filter will go to the yellow filter if you leave it blank, which, you know, cobblestone, sand, and everything else will go in here. Alright, so there it goes. It'll do that, and you can see that the sand is being sucked up into the void filter. Now I'll show you. I'll put some ore in the way here. Just because I'm not going to stand here and wait for it to get deep enough to start hitting ore. And you'll see that these will get sucked up and go into the chest. Now see, those get separated and put into the chest. Everything else goes the other way. So that's your basic setup. Now you'll see I added a little something onto my big quarries over here. Let me change this here. I have a much larger quarry set up over here. And I also have an automatic smelting system. Now this is really easy to do. Okay, so I have everything being sorted singularly, just like this. So I set this one, the main one, to have all those things go to the green, and then on each black one I do one of each ore, like so. So as they pass by it, they'll get sucked in, and it separates everything. Now all the ores that need to be smelted, I have a wooden pipe which extracts things. You need to put a wooden pipe on the side of your chest, a redstone engine, and a power source. You can either put a switch here or a torch, doesn't matter. I just leave the torch because they can run forever. They won't have a risk of blowing up like the gas powered ones. So what happens is if it finds any copper, the copper will go into this here, which I'll show you. As soon as it goes into there, it gets pumped out and fed into the hopper. Now, the reason why I have it set up like this and not just a pipe straight to the furnace is, let's say you let this run for a while and this gets full, you need to empty this out, because once it hits the 64 stacks, the whole process is going to stop, except for this is still going to draw things out of the pipe, and it will pop out of the pipe. So what I did is this lets me go a whole 4 stacks higher than normal. Now if you wanted to really make it, so you don't have to worry about it for a while of not overfilling, you can put another hopper on top, but it's not really worth it because everything will halt, like I said. Once this is hit 64, you do need to empty it out manually. I tried making an extracting system out of these, but it sucks the coal out too. So I haven't figured that out yet. Maybe in another video if I do finally figure it out, or if they update it. I would have a wooden pipe coming out of here and then into another chest, and then everything would be smelted. So there you go. Oh, and my other little cheat is I threw an ender chest down here and then in my base, so anything I put in here ends up going back to my base. And you can see I did a much larger one. It's mining everything out for me. I have another one over here. And this one has gas lines. I just dug down and laid down the gas lines in here. And I got a gas pump holding a bunch of gas that I found a well. And it seems like it's dried up, but that gas will last me forever. Alright, well, thank you for watching. If you like it, subscribe. I'll try to make more videos as we go along. Trying to keep my videos simple and not too long. Thanks for watching.